Hello and welcome back to Get Up and Game. My name is Josh and it is December, and that means it is my favorite time of year. It is the Christmas season. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas, everyone. I look forward to this season so much every year. And today I would like to announce a very special playthrough series that I'm going to be doing throughout the month of December to celebrate the holidays. I'm calling it the 12 Plays of Christmas. But let me tell you what I'm doing. Throughout the month of December, I am giving myself the gift of my 12 favorite heroes and my 12 favorite villains. So what I have done is I have wrapped up my 12 favorite heroes as well as my 12 favorite villains, and I'm going to be giving them to myself as gifts in the form of playthroughs. I'm going to do 12 games throughout the month of December, where I'm going to randomly pick one of my favorite heroes that I have randomly paired with an aspect. I didn't look at what they were. And I am going to grab one of the villains out of the box, which I have paired with a random but chosen from a pool of my favorite modular encounter sets. And I'm just going to have 12 games throughout the month of December that are guaranteed to be really fun for me because it's going to be filled with my favorite things in this game. You know, as a content creator, it's really hard to find the time to just play games for fun, and that is by no means not a complaint. I absolutely love doing this, but it's just a fact of life that I don't have time to play the game all the time and also make all the content that I enjoy making. So just for the month of December, for fun, celebrate the holidays, I'm giving myself the gift of just 12 fun games without the pressure of having to come up with some ridiculous backstory or doing silly voices or anything like that. They're just going to be very no-frills games, probably even minimal editing, so I can actually get that many out that fast. Hopefully I can actually get this accomplished in the month of December. It is a busy time, but I'm certainly going to try. Either way, I'll get them all done. Whether it bleeds into January or not, we'll see. So I really hope you'll join me for this. And I know not everybody celebrates Christmas, so I hope you just come along with me for the fun games. And we're just going to have a good time playing this game that I love so very much. So here in this first video, in addition to announcing the series, I'm going to pick my very first hero and my very first villain, see what I'm up against, build the deck, and then when I come back next time, we're gonna play that game, and then at the end of that game, we'll open the next one and we'll just keep on going. Should be a really fun month. So let's see, let's open a hero first. Let's pick this one. Oh, who's it gonna be? Oh, I love opening presents, and I get to open so many this month. This was such a good idea. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, who's it gonna be? Be very careful not to tear the card, just the wrapping paper. Oh, SPDR. Oh, gosh, Josh, you shouldn't have. Yes, I should. Thank you, me. But which aspect did I pair with Penny? It's going to be leadership. Oh, I love leadership web warriors. So that is going to be a very fun way to start the series. Could definitely build a fun leadership web warrior deck. But who's it going to be against? Let's see. Oh, I'm so excited for these games, just to play 12 games for fun. I don't have to do anything too stupid. I'm gonna have to whisper or eat hot wings. Where do I come up with this stuff? Okay, so what villain is it going to be? Who is SPDR going to battle? Oh, okay, Mansion Attack. Starting off with Mansion Attack, definitely one of my 12 favorite villains in the game. This is my favorite one in the Mutant Genesis box, so I'm very excited to go up against these guys. And of course, the Brotherhood modular encounter set is required for this one, but instead of Mystique, because I'm pretty sure she was not one of my favorite modular encounter sets, so this should not be Mystique. It's going to be the Wrecking Crew. So we're gonna have the Brotherhood and the Wrecking Crew. And one thing I didn't say, I'm reserving for myself the right to play these in standard or expert, depending on how difficult of the challenge it's going to be. We might play this one in standard. SPDR and leadership should be really strong, but man, the Wrecking Crew is gonna be tough in this scenario. So I don't know, I'll have to see what kind of deck I come up with if I'm willing to play that in expert or not. So that is gonna be our first matchup. SPDR in leadership versus the mansion attack scenario with the Wrecking Crew. So let me clear some stuff out of the way and let's build a deck. Okay, so if I'm going to be building Penny Parker in leadership, it's going to be awfully hard for me not to lean into some kind of web warrior strategy just because those allies are so much fun to use. One thing I am going to try to do over the course of these 12 plays is I'm going to try to build 12 different styles of decks. So I did evenly spread out the aspects across all the heroes as I randomly paired them up. But I'm going to try really hard not to just build 3 leadership, rapid response, make the call, recursion decks. As much as I love to do that, I'm going to try to add a little bit of variety. But for the sake of this deck, I'm pretty sure that is the direction I'm going to go. So the first thing is got to find our web warriors. And so certainly Otto, Ghost Spider, and Peter Parker. Pretty sure those are going to come along with any time I build an SPDR deck, even not in leadership, but especially in leadership, because Make the Call works so very well with Ghost Spider and Peter Parker. It doesn't work quite as well with Otto. He needs to be played from your hand. But I definitely am going to be wanting to see a lot of Ghost Spider and Spider-Man. Hobie Brown is one I usually end up skipping over just because he could do a bunch of damage to the villains. And I really have to consider the scenario I'm building for. That's one of the reasons why I look at it ahead of time, is I do want to also tune these to the villain I'm facing with the modular. So I am going to need some pretty big chunks of damage to bring down the Brotherhood. Now this only works on the villain. I kind of wish this worked on big minions. Maybe I get a chance to take out one of the Wrecking Crew with him. I'll grab him, but he might not make it. I'm probably almost definitely going to bring Vivian just because she's so useful. She's not a web warrior, but there's so much she can do for us. Ironheart is always a consideration. And then the only other one I might consider probably, well, Professor X and Nick Fury are always on the table, but I suspect probably going to want to use those guys a lot over the course of these 12 games. And I do want to try to inject some variety into my deck builds for the sake of this. So I'm going to skip on Professor X and Nick Fury for now. And then as far as basic supports go, Helicarrier and Mansion are certainly always on the table. SPDR, once she gets going, has a lot of resources. There's a really good chance on the first deck pass, you kind of pass over these. You might not be able to get them into play, but if you can get them into play early, they're going to be very helpful for her. And then if I am planning on doing Web Warriors, pretty much guaranteed to be wanting a Web of Life and Destiny, even though, as it stands now, I'm going to have a few non-Web Warrior allies. I'm still going to grab it. And then none of the rest of these really apply to her. So it's just a matter of if I want Helicarrier and Avengers Mansion or a team building exercise to help pay for Web Warrior cards. So I'll go ahead and grab one of those too, and we'll just kind of whittle this stuff down. If there's any basic upgrades I want, pretty much always take endurance. Do I want a symbiote suit? Well, I'll grab it and then we'll see. But I don't know that there's going to be really any other of the basic. I always really consider endurance for any deck, and I often consider symbiote suit. But all the rest of these, I'd be surprised if there's anything I'm really thinking. Unshakable, maybe. It's been a minute since I played a Mansion deck. I don't think there's a lot of stun or confuse. I'm sure there's a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about Unshakable. It's not too hard for SPDR to clear a stun or confuse and then ready back up. So we're not going to worry about that. There's no team ups. I'm just kind of working my way through my box here. The only basic event I think there's any chance I'm going to want is the Limitless Stamina, because she has the 14 hit points. So I'm definitely going to grab those. Meditation is also an interesting option for her. She doesn't have any confuse built into her kit, and I'm probably not taking Professor X just so I can save him for other decks. So I don't know how often I would get to use it, so we'll skip that for now. Across the Spider-Verse is not one I often take, especially since I'm being leadership. I'm going to be having Make the Calls. I'm going to grab the Limitless Staminas, so that will be that. And as it stands now, I'm not planning on grabbing any of the resource cards. I don't really like using them with her because her hand size is so small. I'd hate to draw a hand where I had 2 or 3 resource cards in my hand, and she gets so many resources from her interfaces. So I'm currently thinking I'm not going to grab any of the resource cards. Now, when we get to the leadership events, definitely going to be grabbing Make the Calls because I want to be playing Peter Parker and Ghost Spider frequently. So we'll set those aside. And then another one I was kind of thinking as I was starting to look at the cards is Last Stand might be nice because we're going to be facing off the Wrecking Crew and the Brotherhood minions. Those are a lot of really beefy enemies, and Leadership isn't super good at attack events, but this gives me 3 more attacks, so I could attack with Ghost Spider, get an extra 3 to help bring down a big minion, and then, I'd get to trigger her ability and stuff, and then hopefully just make the caller back into play. So I'm going to grab those. I can see maybe just ending up with 1 or 2, but that might be a thing. Get Ready's another option, but I don't think so. Strength in numbers, probably not. I don't know if there's going to be any more leadership events I'm interested in. Not looking to do a go all out kind of thing. Yeah, we're going to go with just the make the calls and the last stands for now. Oh, wait, there's a few more in the box. Let me see. Save the day, no. None of these really apply. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're going to go with those. Now, as far as the upgrades go, I probably want a Clarity of Purpose. I pretty frequently grab that. The one I'm not sure about is Rapid Response, because this is obviously super good, but if I am going to do the Last Stand thing, those don't really work well together. Not that you couldn't still have them in the same deck, there's just some anti-synergy. Well, let me grab a couple. It's hard not to run with those. I'm going to grab a Clarity of Purpose, just even more resources is nice. I think that is going to be it. Are there any leadership supports? Not really looking to keep my Web Warriors alive because I sort of want at least Gwen to leave play quickly to get her ability. Shouldn't need a Triskelion. Command Team is an option. And I think that's about it. Okay, let me grab just a couple command teams. That works really nice with Peter Parker to ready him up, then you can ready the Web Warrior up, and you just keep going, and it's super fun. And then as far as leadership allies go, pretty much definitely bringing Kalu just because I almost always do. And Maria is another option. So you see we have a ton of non-Web Warrior allies, so I might have to pare it down. Oh, Beast is, well, I'm not going to have any resource cards, so Beast in this case isn't that interesting. Black Panther's another one I often consider, but I'm not really leaning too hard into any particular event. Something I should think about is maybe a big hitter, like something like Gentle, because he really wants to attack minions, and he hits really hard. So I might come back to him, but let me see what I've got so far. Well, I managed to grab 26 cards, which would get me to 41, so if I just wanted to trim 1 to get down to 40, I'd already have a deck here, assuming these are all the cards I want. But I didn't yet grab a Helicarrier Mansion, so I don't still know for sure if I want those. Definitely going to want Kalu because he helps find that All Systems Go. Maria's another one I might leave out just for the sake of variety for future decks. Let's set her aside. Let's do 2 Last Stands. 3's probably a lot. You don't want to be drawing them all the time. I might want to roll with the Symbiote Suit if we can get it out. She has so much health, and that's going to give her even more, so the added threat it's going to provide. Now, it's kind of scary because it's going to be pulling out giant minions like Wrecking Crew and Brotherhood, but I still think I want it. She gets a lot of ready, so she can make a really good use of this. Plus, she could really use the hand size. The extra health is, I almost always put an Endurance in a solo deck. So I do like the idea of running all these allies just to kind of protect myself while I get set up. So that's 24. I would need 1 more card. Let me just quickly run through her stuff and make sure there isn't some particular synergy with leadership that I'm not thinking of. I did consider doing maybe a Voltron type deck and really trying to build up the Venom signature ally here, but I do want to do a Voltron deck with one of these 3 leadership decks. So that's why I decided not to do it with this one, even though this one isn't a bad target for it. I just decided to go with the Web Warrior thing for this one. No, there's nothing overly leadership-y about her kit. So I just need 1 more card to replace the 2 I took out. I think we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to go with an Avengers Mansion. If we can get that on the table, that's obviously going to be super helpful for her. build up that hand size. And I think that's the deck we're going to roll with. So join me soon when we're taking SPDR in leadership against Mansion Attack with the Wrecking Crew. Good thing these are really just going to be casual games for fun. If I lose, I lose. That sounds like a tough challenge, but it also sounds like a whole lot of fun. So I hope to see you soon. Join me for that game. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.